Welcome, parents and guardians of students at the Oregon School District. My name is Kendra Massal, and I'm a special education teacher here in the district. I'm glad you're using this opportunity to learn more about the history of special education and some of the cases that have shaped special education, as well as getting more resources for you as parents to answer more of your questions that may be unanswered. Here's an outline of the history of special education. Let's start with the 1940s. Even before that, students with disabilities didn't attend school, and in some cases were not allowed to attend school with other students without disabilities. Finally, in the 1940s is when schools in certain states provided special education programs for those students of specific learning disabilities. At the start of these programs, in most states, they were only offered for private schools or in some residential areas, which made it hard for a lot of students with special needs to have access to it. It wasn't until 1954 when the U.S. Supreme Court issued a landmark for the Board versus Brown of Education. The argument was that schools were providing unfair opportunities for all students and depriving them of equal protection of the laws. This started out as an argument based on segregation and then led parents to fighting for those students with disabilities and to have the same opportunities just as everyone else. In 1965, the Elementary and Secondary Education Act, ESEA, was passed. Within this act, it addresses the inequality of educational opportunities for underprivileged children. This act established a grant program to help states initiate, expand, and improve their programs and protect students that were considered handicapped. In 1970, they changed the Elementary and Secondary Education Act to the Education of the Handicapped Act. It wasn't until 2001 when the No Child Left Behind Act was put into place. This law was that all children have a fair and equal significant opportunity in education. In 2004, the Individuals with Disability Education Improvement Act was announced, also known as IDEA. The IDEA Act has two primary purposes. One, to provide an education that meets the student's unique needs, as well as prepare the child for further education, employment, and independent living. Also, to protect the rights of both children with disabilities and their parents. Then finally, in 2015, President Barack Obama proposed the Every Student Succeeds Act. This act connects with No Child Left Behind Act and the IDEA Act, which brings it all. Here are two major court cases that involved special education in history. The Filling versus Huntsville City Board of Education, as well as Mills versus Board of Education of District Columbia. The Filling versus Huntsville City case, Huntsville failed to evaluate Filling when she was suffering from a hearing impairment. Because Huntsville failed to evaluate her, they failed to obtain the process of the IDEA as well as FAPE Act. In the Mills versus Board of Education of District Columbia, the District of Columbia was suspending, expelling, and excluding students with disabilities. The District of Columbia said that the cost of educating kids with disabilities was just too expensive. It was after these court cases in 1975 that the Education for All Handicapped Children Act was put into place. As parents and guardians of children with disabilities, your questions could be endless. So I've provided you with 4 great resources that are user-friendly, as well as packed with information on not only more history about special education, but also great topics that might answer some of your questions. Parents Helping Parents, U.S. Department of Education, and specific Wisconsin questions, the Wisconsin Department of Education website. The Special Education Guide at the bottom is a great resource that has many more resources within it. As an educator, I use it and thought you as parents and guardians would benefit from it as well. Good luck and have fun finding the answers to your questions.